I didn't know if it was phone in the pram.
Jeremy, you good? Good morning. I call this meeting of the Boyd ISD Board of Trustees to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members are present. This meeting has been duly posted as required. Texas Government Code 551.049.
Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to these Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Kyle, would you lead us in a prayer, please?
Father God, we thank you for allowing us to be here this afternoon, Lord, to serve these students. Lord, I thank you for the men and women here, the district, our board members, Lord, and just be with us this afternoon. May help us make the best decisions we can in the best interest of the kids. Pray these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Okay. Issue certificate of election, administer statement of elected officials, officer, and administer oath of office for trustees.
Right hand. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, I, Trey Russell, I, Bill Childress, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Boyd ISD Board of Trustees, sanctified to the school of Ralph, in place 4 for Bill Childress. That I, the state of Texas, and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Agenda item number 3, reorganization of the board. Can I get nominees for president, please? Okay. Any others? Okay, all those in favor? So move. Thank you. Vice president. I get a nomination. Any others? All those in favor? So move. Thank you, secretary. Others? All those in favor? So move. Okay. Agenda item number 4, Boyd ISD recognition.
All right, I would like to bring our high school principal, Ms. Chelsea Reeves, up for student recognition.
Evening. We have lots to celebrate tonight, including this just in news. We have an area presidency in FFA through Rendon Lamance, and we are so proud of him. He is still in his blues, and we're just super proud of our whole FFA team. They've done an incredible job. We will celebrate them in a later time, but that was news that I just had to share. At this time, I'd like to welcome our track coach, Coach Kern, our athletic director, Coach Hopkins, as well as our state competing track athletes, Noah Richardson and Tony Ruger. Coach Kern is going to tell you a little bit about these amazing athletes.
Good evening, everybody. I'm just going to talk a little bit about our track athletes. They both competed at the state track meet in Austin. Tanya, she was the district champ, the area champ, and she was a regional champ also in the 2 mile or 3,200, and she got second in the 1 mile at regionals also, qualifying her for state. Noah was Noah got third at the regional meet. However, they have what's called a wild card now. So if you're the the fastest of all the third place finishers in all 4 regions, and he got that. That's the first time we've ever got the wild card. So I was pretty excited to get that. And we were scouring the internet, and he was, Coach, what about this? And I was calling people that I knew from Region 1, trying to get that with all my old coaching buddies. Hey, can you send me pictures of what y'all people did down there? So I was, making phone calls, but we were pretty confident that he was going to get it. And then they released the heat sheets and the qualifiers that Monday afternoon about 5 o'clock. And then I gave him good news to the parents that he was a wild card and he qualified for the meet in Austin. At Austin, they both ran well. Tanya finished 9th in the 2 miles. She finished 4th in the 1 mile, just like 1 second out of getting on. Noah finished 8th, I believe. He ran 4:37. It wasn't his season record, but it was one of his better times, but it wasn't his fastest time of the year. He actually ran at the top before he did break the school record. And this young lady also broke the school record in the mile. So needless to say, he's got the school record in the 2 mile, the 1 mile, the 5K for cross country, and she's got all 3 in the same 5K, 2 mile, 1 mile. It's on the board. I'm changing it every year. A lot of hard work. I'm so proud of them. Just the last, I've coached Noah since he was seventh grade, and then Tanya, she moved here, I want to say in 8th grade, and she just did what I asked her to do, and really, really, great athletes, and they become also really good in the classroom. Both, super proud of what they've done in the classroom. Good coach. There's a lot of great kids on both teams, the boys and girls, but these two always go above and beyond. And I like to say, hey, we do.
Right, can we go back and do it again? Outstanding. Do it back
So
on.
our next students that I want to introduce are very close to my heart as a former family consumer science teacher and SCCLA sponsor. This year, with everything going on, they went above and beyond and made bigger and more improvements than ever. I'd like to bring this class up to introduce Miss Autumn Hayes and Kylie Wood.
Hello, Heidi. Partner from the state that would like to present to the goals. This year they have really gone above and beyond due to COVID. They did not get to compete in person. So that means that they had to stand in front of a video camera and present their interviews in fashion construction. One had 40 minutes, the other one had 10 minutes to get everything that they had created and get presented, and then had a blueprint they had to put. And then they submitted this video, and then the judges, critiqued by this blueprint, gave them back their scores, and they told them if they jumped to the street or not. So for region, Kylie, she started something new in LA. She did fashion construction. This is something that boys had never done before. It is a whole new category in SCCLA, and it's not for starry grades, it's not new, but for boys, it is. So what she did is she went to the SCCLA facilitator, Smith, and our art teacher, and asked this would be the curriculum they could start at Wood High School in fashion construction. So she would learn how to sew and create Autumn, she has excelled in job interviews. She's the one that has stand in front of a camera for 40 minutes to present her portfolio. She played 3rd in her level 3, she played 3rd place, and Kylie played 1st place. Both of them have been so don't mind me if I accidentally dropped this class. Kylie played 1st in level 3 for Ethan, fashion construction, and Autumn played 3rd in level 3 for job interview. Valley went to state, and this is in Dallas. They completed their star event. Nobody else in our region competed in fashion. So she's the only one in our region. In autumn, she competed, she had 15 other people that she competed level 3 for John Mayer. She placed third, but then now gets to go to national. She will be going hopefully to national Tennessee. She already submitted her video. She had to do it. It's very nerve wracking. I had to ask her interview questions, and I heard that she wasn't looking at me, she was looking at the camera. Oh, it's probably third place for going to state and.
And that is the first time in Boyd SCCLA history that we've had a student go to nationals. And again, only junior, so. I'd like to introduce Mr. Zeb Souter. Mr. Zeb Souter was chosen as our 2021 Character Counts recipient. He was awarded a $10,000 scholarship, and it is a choice for a person of great character. And that lives with integrity. He has strong conviction. He is incredibly compassionate and kind, and we are just so incredibly proud of him and all that he has done. Our 2021 Character Counts recipient. But I would like to bring up Ms. Katie Wilson, and Zeb Souter and Katie Wilson are going to give us an overview of our senior activities that are planned for next week.
A lot of big plans for senior week, starting off with Monday, May 24th is field day.
The full day is when we go to the intermediate school and we play a bunch of games with the kids, and we just want to put a smile on their face the whole day during the AM.
And following Monday, Tuesday, we have the academic field trip to Dallas.
In Dallas, we'll be going to the aquarium and a bunch of museums, and we'll also eat at a bunch of food trucks there.
Wednesday is a very full day. We've got our sessions in the AM.
In those sessions, we'll have a financial planner, a mortgage broker, a licensed therapist and counselor who will talk to us about handling stress, and then we'll have a business and industry leader who will talk to us about leadership.
Following the sessions at 1 p.m., we're walking through all the schools and taking pictures.
So we'll be going to all the campuses, the elementary, intermediate, middle, and high school, and this is just a chance to have our present and our past teachers get to knock out down, and because we're going in the future.
And the last thing on Wednesday is our baccalaureate at 6 p.m.
This will be at Hilltop, and it's just a church ceremony for all of the graduates.
Thursday, May 27th is our graduation rehearsal.
During that, we'll just learn what to do across the stage and just get ready for the big day.
And finally, Friday, the big day, is graduation.
And from me and all of our student bodies, we'd love to invite all of y'all and come out and support us and watch us walk the stage. Thank you.
All the students that presented or who were awarded or everyone who just came up to come back up here. I'm gonna take a picture with you and the board. And I'm trying to think where the best place is with all of these cords. Watch the cords as you get in here.
Oh, wait.
Yeah. Mr. Chappington will tell you where you need to go. So go all the way through. All the way
Make
through.
friends, not faces.
Jillian,
Come
you
on,
got
lady.
the same problem she's got.
Hold it like a baby.
Yeah, you're all right.
So make sure you show your text.
Come on in.
Come on in. Yeah, okay, smile for me.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Just kidding, I'm thinking. All right, everybody say Yellow Jacket Nation dominates everything.
Watch the cards, watch the cards. I know Drew's probably having a fit right now. All right, now I would like to ask Miss Christine Magrita to come up and showcase our innovative teachers.
Mr. Chair.
What am I trying to say?
This evening, and we're so super proud, and we also want to recognize the teacher. We have been awarding innovation awards throughout the year. And just the definition of innovation is the creation, development, and implementation of a new product, process, or service with the aim of improving efficiency, effectiveness, or competitive advantage. And just want to take a moment to thank every Boyd ISD teacher this year, because if there was ever a year that we have had to innovate and do as many things as possible to educate students, no matter the circumstance, our teachers have gone above and beyond and continue to do that every day. So we have some special awards tonight that we want to present to you. We have already presented these teachers in their classroom with their students so they can celebrate with them. We gave them a certificate as well as a Amazon gift card for $25. And many of them were already thinking of ways they can buy more things for their classroom. So that's the kind of people we are honoring this evening. So first we'll start with elementary. And so I'll ask Ms. Kim Lambert to come up. Ms. Lambert was nominated by her principal because she is doing a phenomenal job with blended learning in her classroom. And so specifically during her math lesson, she is working with whole and small groups, and all students are collaborating together. So no matter if they're in person or they're on Zoom, she has collaboration going on and she has personalized learning going on. And I don't know if you've ever tried to do this, but I tried to do this with 8th graders a couple of weeks ago, and it is no easy task. And so we really appreciate Ms. Lambert's efforts in that. I was walking down the hall and I hear someone in a room teaching at the admin building and like is so excited and is teaching math. And I'm like, Ms. Cleveland, are you in there? Come on up, Ms. Cleveland. And what Ms. Cleveland was doing is she was using Zoom to teach the entire 3rd grade math lesson. And they were all standing up and they were doing ready, set, rock, paper, scissors, math. The entire 3rd grade at one time, because Ms. Cleveland was able to be very innovative and do those practices with them. So thank you, Ms. Cleveland. Intermediate, Ms. Cook. Ms. Cook was super excited this year because she has been using an app called Quizzes, and we went into the classroom and asked the students, have you been using Quizzes? And they were all like, yes, and what have you been using them for? And so what have they been using that for? Review, positive reviews, and things like that. So instead of just drill, and maybe they would have been bored, she was able to use the gifts. I don't think you should in my thank you, Ms. Cook. They were super excited. Okay, so let's move on to middle school. Miss Sadie, come on up. So Miss Sadie created a make your own study sync project, and she used some grant money that she received to purchase video equipment, ring lights, microphones, and all to make videos to go along with the skills that they are doing in the live. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Kids actually make their own videos as the, like, whatever the teach is or the lesson is, and so they create the ones that are like the ones we have in our curriculum. So they really enjoy doing that together. We even had a kid that was on Zoom all year, so he got to be in the video on Zoom, since that was what this year was, right? Like the combined, so we got to do all of that. It was really. Thank you so much.
Richie is very unique, and innovative teacher. You might go by the school and see a horse out in the parking lot, and it's Miss Richie's husband there, to give students all kinds of experiences. She might be dressed up any given day when you're at the school. But we really recognize her this year because she was co-teaching, Texas history with the Bullet Museum.
They have a program through, working with teachers where they can actually talk with us and bring out relics from the Bullet Museum, which is really neat. If anybody's been to the Texas Museum, it's our safety room, it's awesome. But, there's several little programs. They even had, when they showed LaSalle, where they dug up all the shit out of the ocean and stuff, and they actually got to do it. And they get to actually interact. Yet she also quizzes them. I've been using a lot. I've already talked to them for next year, and so I've got that set to do it for next year, because I really think it's a very good program.
That's what, when we went to her classroom, they actually are seeing these primary artifacts and all within the classroom. They're able to have these experiences. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I've never been to a high school classroom where I asked them, hey guys, are you guys taking interactive notes this year? And they were like excited about it. They were like, yeah. So tell us about interactive notebooks.
So because of the COVID thing and some of our kids being online, obviously you can't just hand them out paper packets. And so I found a way, and it uses Google Slides. And so they take their notes on Google Slides, and it kind of makes it a little more fun because I can embed activities in there for them to do, or review videos and stuff as well. And so it's been working really well for us. And then I also use them as like just activities in general, and then some games too.
So I don't know if Ms. Reese has told you this or not, but we're gonna have you teach a lot of other teachers how to use these interactive notes. And so that's what happens when you do great things with the parents. But we appreciate that. These exciting opportunities and really worked with students in different situations. And I hope that we will continue to move forward in those efforts with all of the things. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I would just like to say thank you to the Bullet Education Foundation that provided the awards for our teachers. Don't leave just yet, Miss Ritchie. I want a picture of you and the board too. So all the teachers come up, please. We're gonna mark this moment in history.
And we're guilty.
Hey, ladies.
Come on in. 1, 2, 3, 2.
Thank you.
Okay, thank y'all. It's great as a board to get to visit with y'all and see what's going on in the district. Okay, so agenda item number 5, open forum, public comment. None. Okay, agenda item number 6, consent agenda items. We need to, any questions, need to pull anything out? First by Trey, second by Jeremy. All in favor? Move. Agenda item number 7, approval of depository contract.
Is there any question on this one? We're continuing with our one that we've had every, is it 2 years? 3 years?
It's a 2-year
2 year. Okay.
contract, and you can renew it for up to 3 additional 2-year terms. We run to the end of our length on that, so we had to send it out, so.
This is Wells Fargo. I mean, with First Financial, right?
We're not changing.
Any questions? Get a motion?
I move that we approve the depository contract, First Financial Bank, from the term September 1, 2021 through August 31st, 2023.
First by Kenneth, second by Jeremy, all those in favor? Move. Agenda item number 8, resolution for expenditure of ESSER 3, emergency
Okay.
relief funds.
ESSER funds, this is something that everybody's been excited about, and all the districts in the state of Texas are getting, well, I can't say all, there are some districts that are not getting anything, but we're getting a little over $1 million for learning loss for Boyd ISD. So what this resolution is just saying that you approve to add this little phrase into CB local to allow us to accept these funds. So I don't know why we would not want to accept them. $1 million will take us a long way. So we're just going to adopt the resolution for inclusion on our CB local.
Any questions? I get a motion?
Move that the board adopt text from the resolution of inclusion at TV, state, federal revenue sources.
First by Jeremy, second by Krista, all those in favor? Move. Agenda item number 9, BISD tuition-based pre-kindergarten.
Okay, last month I came with you with a vision for pre-K. And I have such a passion for our early learners, and the earlier we can get a hold of them and start getting them in our schools and learning with our students, the better they're going to be off for their entire time with us. So they're going to start meeting their friends at the age 4. So with the early learners, we have our traditional pre-K, and our traditional pre-K has certain eligibility criteria such as homeless, foster care, military, if you're economically disadvantaged. There's certain criteria by the state of Texas to be eligible for pre-K. We can't just let everyone in. You have to meet one of these criteria. But what if we can get all of our 4-year-old BISD students in pre-K at 4 years old? They're our kids, they're within our boundary zones, they're gonna start a year earlier to read, a year earlier to meet their friends, a year earlier to get into our schools. So what if we could do that? So I'm talking tuition-based pre-K for our BISD students. So it'll be a full day of pre-kindergarten. It's going to be our research-based creative curriculum that we're doing in concert with Head Start that I've talked about last month. It's going to be our interactive, vocabulary rich, everything that I said last month. We'll have the family style meals where the kids will learn their vocabulary and learn their manners. Please pass the potatoes. May I have more? Not throwing the rolls across the room, but passing them and learning those manners. And they will be Boyd kids with their Boyd friends. And we're going to start reading at an early age. My expectation is that when you leave Boyd ISD pre-kindergarten, you're reading to some extent. Am I saying full sentences? Probably not, but seeing pictorial models, understanding your letters and your sounds and how those blend and recognizing words. That's something that we can start at 4 years old with tuition-based kindergarten. So how this would work is we would open this up upon board approval. And it would be a $100 application fee to hold your slot. And then full day tuition would be $500 a month. And that $100 would go to your first payment of pre-kindergarten, first month of pre-kindergarten. And we need board approval for EHBG legal to adopt a tuition-based pre-kindergarten. We are not to go over, not have a rate any higher than what we need to pay for our teacher and our curriculum. So we're not making a profit on this. We're doing a break even on it to provide this service to our community. So we are looking for BISD staff to continue with our pre-kindergarten that they've done in the past. And that will be a substantial reduced fee for our staff as an additional recruiting incentive. So let's read. At this point, I would ask the board if
It's 4,500 for the year.
yes,
And how many students is that to break?
That is based on 15 students.
Which would cover the cost of meals, which would cover our teacher and all overhead that goes with that teacher.
And so right now, I know that there are some of our 4-year-olds going to daycares, and I was just thinking, what if we talk?
No, it's a great idea. I just want to make sure that we are breaking even, we're not overlooking costs.
Yeah, how things stand right now, that would break even. Now, if food prices were to go up, or if some new state adopted curriculum has to be approved, I mean, things could fluctuate. But things stand on May 17th, that would, yes, with 15 kids.
And those students would also ride the bus if needed.
I'll have to look into that. I did not count into the cost of bus transportation. So if parents are already taking their kids to daycare, I was under the assumption that they would take their kids to pre-K. Same time. Like,
So say, those all drop off students.
Um,
You don't
That-
provide transportation.
yeah, transportation was not factored into this, so. But, you know, we can take it by as needed basis. We could charge tuition for bus riders. We can also do that.
This is for all the extra kids that don't fall into that category.
Correct. So any student that does not qualify for pre-K under the state guidelines would qualify, we could get them in. If we get more than 15, we get 30, we'll get another teacher. And so, you know, we'll do it that way. I really expect at first it'll be kind of moderate, but in another year, people are going to catch wind of it, and it's going to grow to the point where we're going to have to put people on waiting lists. I mean, that's not, I think probably by year 3, people are going to be on waiting lists trying to get in. Because when I see what amazing things are going on at our pre-K, our literacy center, they're going to be really excited. What's happening and how their kids are growing. Right now, it's going to be first come, first served. And then if we have a wait list, we'll wait till we get 15 more. And then
So with our staff, first come, first served, or our staff?
our staff's already included in our numbers, is that correct? Yes. When we've already had pre-K and kindergarten roundup. And so with our 2 pre-K teachers that we currently have, the staff can fit into those classes with that roundup, with those roundup numbers. So staff are already included in our numbers for pre-K next year. So now we will set this out we have run a survey with the community to see if there was an interest, and we got seven that were interested. And that was just those that found the survey on the website. So I'm going to, we're going to look through with Ms. Harrison, we're going to publicize this and get it out there and get people understanding your child can start BISD as a 4-year-old. So I thought for 7 on a website, that's pretty good because
I think it's something it up. I mean, that's what the difference has to do. It's kind of things like that. Takes some time to- from a financial standpoint, definitely think it's a great idea to leave it to our program.
Any questions? Need a motion? Listen. Second by Kenneth. All those in favor? Then item number 10, technology presentation, technology to improve safety and security.
Good evening. Thank you for having me up tonight. We've spent the last couple of months working on assessments of what you see there and of technology and in our cameras, phones, access control, and the high school PA system. And I want to bring you first that assessment tonight and also say thank you to Dr. Vardy and to the board for December of 2019. Y'all allocated $500,000 for technology to be used in the district. And to date, none of that money has been used. Everything we've done to become a premier one-to-one district has been in budget. All the computers and everything that we bought for the students. So that money is there. What I'd like to bring you here is, and I will have to put my glasses on. So our assessment of everything you see here, I will run through what we currently have in the district. As you look here on the camera inventory by campus, it will show you the number of cameras we have and the age. I won't read through exactly all of it, but we have 5 and 10 years at elementary. We have intermediate middle at 5, 10, and 15 years, high school 5, 8, and 12 years old. You can see the numbers there, the quantity that we have on each one of those. Admin Head Start, 10 years old, with a total of 87 cameras. Now, at this point, we have 24 of those cameras that are not working. And we currently have a server that's 5 years old with a small amount of memory. Now, there is quite a few days of recording on this server, but at 5 frames a second, you will see if somebody were to walk into this door, you might see them come in the door and then you might see them leave that door, or you might only get one picture of them in the middle if it took 1 second to get through this room. So not a full flow whatsoever of motion like you would just normally see if you were walking through a room. That's the frame rate is so low to get the days up, that, excuse me, that you're actually not catching any action that's going on in the frame. So that's our current status there of that. The phone system that we are currently using, we have 100 phones in the district that are 6 years old. You can see the monthly charge there for this hosted service of $1,300. We currently have 3/4 of the classrooms in the districts of elementary, intermediate, and middle schools that do not have two-way communications by a telephone in the rooms themselves. So if someone needed to call the office, they would have to use their cell phone or push a button on the wall for the PA system, and then hopefully someone is there that could answer them in the office. Our POTS lines, plain old telephone lines, control fax and firearms, those would not change. They can't by law, by code. We have to have those in place from the for the phone company. Okay. All right. Access control doors that we currently have in the district are a maglock. Now, this is my first experience here at Boyd with this kind of technology. And each one of these I want you to see is if we were to lose power, and we did lose power during the snow apocalypse, if you will, these doors were fail open. A door that we have of these requires power to be locked, and with no power, they are unlocked. Okay. And we currently have 7 doors like this left in the district. Also, they have a sensor above the door that if you walk close enough to the front of the door, it actually unlocks the door without you even touching it. This is also a safety issue. The elementary school has been changed to what's called a fail secure, and that's just been in the last, say, month or so. Is that right, Jimmy? Yes. Just in the last month or so, all the doors there have been fixed to be a fail secure, and we have 7 doors over the rest of the buildings to finish. Right. The PA system at the high school is currently the newest system we have in the district. It is 12 years old. It is currently that the hallway clocks, you cannot see them for very far away. They've become dim over the years. And as you can see here, the athletics and ag shop clocks, as they were put in when those buildings were built, did not sync with the system. They do not work. They show time, but they aren't correct on that. And so we need to get this system also up to something current. So I will continue. Any questions on current systems that I could answer for you?
You're telling me that I cut the power to this building and there's 7 or 8 doors when you just walk right into the school.
Yes, sir, I am.
There's no thumb tabs on the inside. There's no
No, sir.
deadbolt. There's nothing.
No,
I
sir.
was just made aware of this on Friday. That's why I'm bringing it to you tonight.
How did we get doors where they just cut the power and you walk in. Is there a bank like that?
If you find one, let me know.
Historically, I was told that these doors were put in for cost saving measures. I don't know who made that determination back when they were put in, but that's what I was told. And I did not know that they were even a thing until Friday when JD and Drew came into town. Krista just happened to be.
So what were they before we put in the card reader?
The doors were actually locked and you use keys.
So we removed the lock and put
Yes.
in the card readers
Yes,
and thought we were good.
yes.
Well, we're honest people apparently.
Mhm. Yes, sir.
So all 7 of them you're gonna replace. I assume you're fixing to tell us how much it's gonna cost.
I am Bill. Yes.
And this part falls under technology, not safety. Your PA. Your phone system is a safety issue in your.
Yes, it
in your
is.
opinion.
Yes, it is.
Obviously, the doors are a safety issue.
Yes, it is.
The PA falls under just technology.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Thank you.
Anybody else have questions? Sorry to
Okay.
interrupt.
No, I appreciate questions. Thank you. All right. So as you said, technology for safety and security of all these devices that we've talked about. And here is my assessment of what I believe we need to go towards. You'll see here the elementary school and the middle, intermediate, high school, and the increases in the count of the number of cameras that I feel like we need around the building and inside the building as well. Elementary school, I know has 9 now. We're looking at 29. Middle school's 40. We're going to 40, I believe. What did I say on the other slide? We're about 21, I believe. Also high school, I believe it was 40, that's going to 51. Head Start was about 14, going to 47, of course, absolutely covering all our buses and this area back here very thoroughly and all outside of all buildings. So this is going to a total of an increase to 167 cameras is what I feel like that we need. This is also an increase of 4 new servers for these cameras. Now, these are, as you see, much larger servers and 25 days of recording at 20 frames per second. So you will see full motion video. If you were to walk through this room, you would actually see somebody walking through the room at that rate. This is an increase of 80 cameras, all brand new, reusing much of the cabling that we already have in the building for the cameras, and then adding to where we need to on that. Okay. On the phone system, we had, you see before we had 100 phones, and this is going to 215 phones to put a phone in every classroom that we have. Monthly cost is decreased by $300 a month. And we also would install E911 or enhanced 911. Now, what will happen here is if a classroom were to call 911 from it, the office, we can make all the office phones be alerted to the classroom that dialed that, and the administrators in the office can be first responders. As it goes to police dispatch, they will see the actual school, the address, and the room number that this is coming from on their screen so they could direct. Again, POTS lines, facts, and firearms, they would not change. They would stay the same.
You said that was a savings?
Savings of $300 a month and doubling the phones.
Why is it less?
We have 100 phones now at $1,300 a month.
I mean, why is it?
Lot newer technology. Newer technology, and the couple of display phones right here for your examples to see here on the desk. So, on access control, like we talked about, the 7 remaining doors would be changed to a fail secure. Some will be repaired with new hardware. Some will be completely replaced with doors and hardware of their requirements. And Mr. Chris has taken care of all that and let me know what doors and how much that would all be. So these also would become now fail secure. If power went off because the doors are locked, they would be secure with a power failure. So the doors we have now require power to be locked Okay, and these doors do not require power to be locked. It's a total reverse. Okay. Also under technology is, would be a new Valcom server for the high school PA system, replacing the clocks in ag and athletics, bringing the system up to a current state of today of what we would need that to be, and giving it lots more functionality to the high school of things that they could do. And here is your estimated cost of the camera system. $200,000. The battery backup system that would be required to put on these servers to keep them going, even if we did have for a short amount of time, even if we did have a power failure, we could keep the cameras up for a small amount of time in the school. Which the battery backup, 25,000. The phone system is 25,000 for all the phones, the installation, everything up to the monthly service. Access control for these 7 doors to replace would be 65,000, and the PA system at the high school at 50. And you see the total there.
The 7 doors for 65.
Yes.
Can't you just put locks on the doors we have? We took them out, can't we put them back in? The locks have only worked for hundreds of years.
This was
Yep.
way out of whack.
I locksmith for a little while, I think I could put them in.
Probably so, sir.
So wouldn't that be an easier way to go than 65,000?
You have to give out a lot more keys that way to people to get in and out of doors, and we can do keys just on the inside of the building and have access control on the outside and control the entries much better that way without handing out so many keys.
We did this several years ago to get rid of these.
So
Well, I don't know what happened with the.
with the thought being the door is locked, even if it was unlocked, anybody could go in and out. This way, the door is at least locked, and you gotta have a card to get in, is that the thought?
Yeah, it's.
And you know exactly who got in that door. So if somebody
Unless the
came,
power's out.
yeah, unless the power went out, yeah. So if somebody came in at 2 o'clock in the morning, you could see, and Miss Harrison went into the elementary school at 2 o'clock in the morning, you know, why she did that, I don't know, but we can determine who is getting in the door. So if something were to happen, water left on in a bathroom or something, we're like, who was the last person in there? Oh, well, that was Dr. Barty was in there and left the sink on in the bathroom. Yeah, we can determine those kind of things. With keys get made copies of and get passed around. And so this year we have in our shutdown procedures, we're collecting all of the keys from our teachers and making sure that teachers have the keys that they need for their position. I know that we have given out keys in the past to people because they've asked for them, and we're now making sure you're teaching English, you need this key, and you teach math, you need that key for your classroom, and so the access control allows them to get into the building, and it's a safety and security measure, so we know who's coming and going.
Are these doors all at one campus, or they only have 7?
No, I believe,
I don't really want to disclose the actual location of them in this setting because we are public, so I don't want that to be out there.
What's, I guess.
But I can tell you in closed session.
What's different about the doors? The new door, what's different between it?
It must have some kind of battery backup or something.
Something.
no,
how-
the new doors, the crash bars actually remain in a locked position, and it requires power to unlock the door. So as you swipe, it applies power to the crash bar, pulls the strike, unlocks the door, and you can come in. If power is off, then the strike will not pull, you will not badge. The other door then has a key on it for only the people that need to get in the building if power is off.
That's what I was thinking. I'll go. I would think
So
it
you
must
can
be
still push the bar
cheaper
from
to
the
put
inside to
generators.
exit.
Always.
Okay.
Yeah, that is the safety issue is the crash bar on the inside. You can always crash out.
Exactly.
So what's the high school PA system? What would the new one do that this one can't?
It would give a lot of flexibility in the way of what would like to be done in there in the way of speaking to kids, having music between classes. It would, of course, take care of the clocks that you can't see in the hallways. It would bring it up to current state of systems, if you will.
So do you need a high school PA system if you put phones in every classroom?
Yes, you still have the announcements and the things that you would do in the school.
Technology, 12 years is a long time. Technology, me, that building, that's I say, I just was wondering like, how much more are we going to get from the new one versus
Sure.
when it's 12 years old?
We would certainly get several more years. I will tell you that the current programming of the PA system that's there now is on a Windows 7 computer. It is a single use, and this will give us the ability to program those doors, or excuse me, program the PA bells and clocks from anywhere, any location or any computer at that time. We will keep and remain the speakers and the cabling system that's in the building and honor the original investment when the school was built.
That's both the PA system and the clocks.
PA system and the clocks, yes, in the building.
We have analog clocks in the hallways.
No, they're digital. They're digital, but they're so faint they can't be seen. Oh, I'm thinking on the Valcon for many years to come.
10,
Mhm.
30.
10 for sure.
Before computers, they lasted for 100 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
You think that's the best option?
It is the best option with honoring what we already have in the building and just upgrading it and getting it to the current system.
Same question, was, how many different, for each one of these, how many different vendors did you contact and talk to, like what products they have?
Gosh, I don't have my list in front of me.
I mean, I don't
I would say just under a half a dozen.
know,
Each.
Each one.
Mhm.
Okay.
Is a lower end or mid price range or high price range?
Like I said, this is on the PA system.
Mhm.
Yes. Probably mid.
Is this just a guesstimate, or I mean, is this actual?
I actually have quotes.
And they all do the same thing on every price range.
Yes.
Yeah, more, you know, as far as, I mean, we said how many vendors, how many folks, you're talking about for each category roughly?
Yes.
Half dozen.
You're using DIRs and that.
It is by board and tips, and they are all state contracts.
And so with the PA system, did you go with this one because it would work with the existing cables?
I did.
Would others work with the existing cables?
No, it would all have to be ripped and replaced.
How much is this need? How much is this need?
To me, the need is for sure your first 4 items. We would like to increase the PA system and bring it up to current modern day.
And this is all you're planning on approved by board tonight, completed by start of school next year?
That would be my hope, sir.
And this is contracts doing all the installation?
It is.
This isn't I mean, $200,000 to replace cameras is not a 2-year plan or a 3-year plan.
No, we will get started immediately.
What happens with all the equipment you're taking out?
The cameras, we could try to sell them or see if someone would take them off our hands.
But you're not replacing all cameras, from what I understand.
All cameras,
Brand new,
brand new.
167.
Yes. Replacing the 87 we have right now.
The cameras we have right now are very grainy and don't work half of the time. So sometimes when we need to look something up, we can't get it because that camera is either out or it's very frustrating when we need to investigate something. And as he said, Krista could be sitting right there and then she walks out the door and you just see her disappear. And it's just like, where did that kid go? And you can't find her.
I think the first three, I mean, I've been wanting that for quite a while. I just think those last two, I mean, access control is very important. I just think the price tag is so gorgeous. It's pretty steep. Me, the PA, I mean, just like what Bill's asking, need versus want, but just, so it's things maybe we can budget and, you know, time, maybe I would say for right now, their security is the thing that was looking for. Like maybe,
That's 215 phones for 25 grand.
Yes,
But we say $300 a month in our monthly
Yes.
payment.
yes.
We'll get that back up.
Access control, that's something, I mean, that way we can ensure that we don't have people coming and going.
I
into
think
our
access
buildings.
control is the number one, gotta get done.
Yeah, yeah.
I just think the price tag, of it just seems for 7 doors, it just seems crazy. I mean, yeah, I mean, I think the first 4 are all security. It has to happen.
Well, anytime you deal with this commercial stuff, it's like that. It's just-
I think if you have 7 doors there, then you have all those phones.
So what we can do with access control has always been expensive, and everywhere I've been, it's always been a sticker shock. And so with that, we could say, okay, how many of y'all have been to a basketball game or to a banquet or something at the high school? Every single one of you. You see that carpet that's stuck in the door?
Yes, and I don't like that.
I don't like it either. So what we can do is we can program that door to be open from 6 to 8 for the athletic banquet on Wednesday. And then it'll lock. We can even play, say, most people will be in there by 7:30, so we can have it unlocked from 6 to 7:30. It automatically locks at 7:30, and when people leave, it's locked. So we can control these doors and schedule them to lock and unlock at certain times.
So that price tag is for all the doors? Or just the 7?
The 7.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. That was my.
I mean, I understand where you're coming
Yeah.
from. I'm just saying, for 7 doors that are set up that way, that's all we're going to spend, 365, 65 for that.
That's the front high school door. Oh, I should have said that. But there, I'll tell you the doors, and then when you find out, you're gonna say, we didn't do that, sorry.
I'll just take it off.
Well,
Because there's not another, there is not another option, is what I'm.
No.
Because I mean, that's a lot of money, that's basically what we're saying, but there's not a better option to fix that, that's gonna make this. price tag down.
Yes, all the crash bars have to be replaced. Some of the doors need a little bit of repair, some doors need replaced, but this is crash bars to be replaced on all these doors so we can control them and they will actually work and be fail secure.
Because of where these doors are placed, that has to happen.
Correct.
Very good.
I just want to remind you the night that y'all heard me, which was highlighting life. Y'all allocated 500,000 to technology. We have not dipped into that yet. I'm not saying just to throw money, but I'm reminding you of that. And also the Huberty bill about fund balance has not passed. They tried to tack it on to something else. And it did not pass, but now what they're trying to do is with our ESSER funds, they're trying to say, oh, if you have this much fund balance, you're not gonna get your full amount of ESSER funds. So that's a new one that came up just this week. So they're still trying to play tricks. There's still 2 weeks left in the session and it may go into summer session for June. So they're still trying to get in our money. So I'm just letting you know all the info.
I think it's a question of, if this is a safety, of course, we're willing to fix it.
Right.
We absolutely want it fixed. That's not the question.
I was
It's,
just talking about
if
the
we're gonna
PA
spend
system.
$1, are we gonna spend it right? I don't know that the PA system's something I feel like we need. I don't know. Maybe it is more important than I give it credit for, but
that's kind of, I mean, after walking the campus and recently over other community, I don't think I walk in the house, oh, I just be,
I mean, is the
When I
clock
see all the other
clock
problems
being
we
down
have.
an issue?
I see a lot more things that we could probably cosmetically fix up. And fix.
Mr. Reeves, may I ask you, I'm putting you on the spot, what would this help? What does the current system cost?
What I'll share, and I am not a tech guru, but what I do know is that if I ever need to manipulate the clocks, there's one computer on our campus. It's in Miss Kate's office. We are not allowed to turn it off because it may not reboot, and that is where that system lives. And so that's just to turn it on, turn it off, change the times, things like that. our athletic facility. If you looked at the clock right now, it'd probably say that it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. And our ag facility would say something roughly about the same. We don't have intercom systems in our barn. And we're working on an archaic system because technology is moving a lot faster than we projected it to 12 years ago. So I would say that that was all taken into account. And Drew worked with a lot of vendors who came and walked our halls and figured out what we could utilize. I'm not sure of the price difference between things that were exciting, like being able to play music, especially for pep rally days and things like that, or transition from rather a bell schedule to a music system. If that's included in the price and if that's just kind of common to today's technological endeavors. But I can tell you that I go to a very old computer, wiggle the mouse, the screen pops on, and I sigh a deep sigh of relief because it came on, and we can turn the bells off. And there's no other computer system that we can utilize.
So it's not just a PA, it's the it's the bells are scheduled. for
It's
that
the
too?
bell system, the PA system, the software, and it's all encompassing.
This gets us to the ag building and that, the field house.
Yes.
The
So
barn.
the PA don't work in the field house right now?
The PA, there's one horn that does work in there and in the ag, but the clock doesn't work. We can't sync it.
But Coach Hopkins,
The PA hasn't worked, doesn't work in the field house.
Oh, it doesn't work in
It
the,
does not.
my apologies.
It worked for
I thought-
maybe a few months. And then,
Okay. My apologies for missing
Our
that.
system at the elementary and intermediate was newer than this one, right?
No, they're 15 years old and they're what you would normally
I feel
see.
like this one's more important than the ones everywhere else.
I am currently doing an assessment on the other 3 campuses to see what we can do with them.
So what made us choose that one first, if it's the newest of the systems?
Because it was the easiest to upgrade.
okay. You're already there. Just okay.
We will use the existing cables, stay with the same vendor, add a server to this, and it will bring it up to today's rate. Well, the other 3 schools are very archaic. They are back to your old switches.
They're gonna be more than this.
I feel like, but I don't want to say for sure. I would do all I can to maintain all that I can and reuse.
But the other campuses can switch bells a little easier than the high school.
Somewhat, yes.
Why is that?
Because
It's-
Computers at the-
No,
at the old
no.
systems?
It's actually a very archaic simplex system. Yeah, it's not a computer at all. It's just a panel.
We get the abacus out. and let's see.
So the high school is computerized, the other campuses are manual.
Yes,
Yes, yes.
You don't have to. You just gotta know how to run it.
there lies the trick.
So we allocated this, 100,000. It's going to be a yearly thing that we for technology on a yearly basis, or was it just kind of a? Just
Earmarked.
Kind of the HVs.
This has different outlook on our technology investment.
Well, I mean, just look what y'all have accomplished. Y'all have a 1-to-1 district, pre-K through 12. I mean, y'all have accomplished that in a year. And that was something I would have thought would have taken 3 years. So I think that's what you were originally thinking. You were gonna put that towards teachers' computers, towards kid computers, and we budgeted for that. So you didn't have to dip into that. That's probably what you were thinking. I'm guessing. I'm just not scared to death.
I mean, I just, security, I mean, the amount of cameras, blind spots, things like that, the grainy videos, or you can see it. It's no brainer to me. PA, I guess that's up to the. Well built. We gotta get part of it working. Yeah.
one way or the other. Then we gotta get the park worker to the field house, or I guess it's there, it just doesn't work.
Correct.
It's probably a simple
Well,
fix.
we've only been 12 years without it.
Right?
I mean, let's be honest, is that really at the high priority of what we need to be doing?
Absolutely not.
The rest of this, I 100% agree with. I mean,
The highest priorities are right in the line, I would think. The top.
That's how I feel, either one, I mean. I'm not saying it's not something we want, or we could not be a step up from what we have, things like that, but
Does that PA system prevent us from teaching kids? Is that PA system gonna get kids hurt? No, the rest of it is to prevent kids from getting hurt, keeping our staff safe, and being able to help us educate children. If that's what we're here for, then that's what we need to focus on.
these phones are part of the package, that's a communication flash right there, as far as emergency, like, 911. aspect of it.
Can we do it? We can do an all call through the phones. We'll be able to do that. We'll be
Yes,
able to do an all call through the phones.
yes.
Okay.
I'm with Bill, I just think, I'm not saying no forever or anything like that, I just don't think right now.
Ask you something, is there any, are we in any danger of this going down where it cannot be used anytime soon? Like
No,
using the, or not, utilize the Bell system or calling what you may need?
no.
That's what I'm asking, I mean, what, we're not in
Yeah, you
danger of
got
that
no
going
PA
down and.
have PA systems.
No, you will still have a PA system if the computer goes down, yes. It's for changing the times and pep rally schedules and things like that.
Say we drop that,
I'm with you.
we can wait till we get the other assessment. and we can
There's
assess
nothing
it then.
saying you can't take the PA system, get assessment for the rest of the district and try to roll it in
That's
the
it.
budget.
All
But we
one
gotta
time.
write-
I'm in for
a
that.
motion that, hey, itemize that thing.
Mhm.
And that way we can get the rest of the assessments and have them all at once.
Maybe put it into your budget. for this year.
That's a good
I
possibility.
would definitely work towards that, sir.
So if you want to itemize what you want, that's.
Just name off what.
I move that we approve the use of technology to improve safety and security with the items presented to us tonight for camera systems, battery backup systems, phone system, and access control for a total of $300,000. Sorry, $15,000.
Yeah. Thank you.
I can't say about this, all in favor. And item number 11.
If I may, I'm sorry, Bill, I do have
Oh,
two other quick
sorry.
things. I do apologize. Thank you, sir. I know, right? Oh, went the wrong way. All right, we are also evaluating currently our classroom technology, and we're currently looking at the smart board systems that we have in the classroom, which are 12 years old, using software from 2013. We are looking to see what can be done for a collaborative workspace, wireless connectivity for students and teachers, and then also workspace with wireless connectivity for students and teachers to collaborate in real time as the students to display their work on a screen for the class as well as the teacher just teaching, have her mobile in the classroom and everybody being able to present. And this is another evaluation that I'm working on. And the last thing I'd like to bring to you, and I know you had this in your board book, was that us as Boyd ISD, application for Operation Connectivity Prior Purchase Reimbursement Program has been fully approved and receiving reimbursement of $155,790.05.
Finally.
Finally,
This is what you
finally.
waited like 6 months
This is
for.
when we had the special meeting.
Yes, it is. Yes, it
We had
is.
to hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
So this has been across the state of Texas. We finally got our $155,000.
Yep.
That was all of it, correct?
Yes.
Supposed to tell Bill that before you asked for that.
I thought that was the end of it.
I should have come and asked your advice.
That vote might have come out ever.
Can you pull the other screen up? Okay, and yes, so now, thank you very much. I have 85 days to get all this done. Till school starts. Thank you.
Okay, now, agenda item number 11, summer maintenance.
Okay, if I will get you to look at your screen, I just, put in some bullet points of some things that we talked about, y'all want some information on. We looked at the demolition, I call it the mud house, is that what you understand? At the end of the block, the house that's in front of the intermediate and the old concession stand. So demolition for all of those would be $43,060. The asbestos abatement on demolition is $5,500 for them to just come and assess the asbestos. That's not for asbestos removal. So I don't know if any of y'all have ever dealt with asbestos. I have not. So that's about all I know about that. So I just know that that's for the, is that correct, JB? The next bullet is our 3-year lighting project, with the first year being $55,402.89. I'm asking for that to come out of fund balance, with year 2 and 3 being budgeted. We can budget the 24,000 and we can budget the 11,000. Paint, we've been trying to get quotes and it's hard to get people to come to Boyd to do stuff for us. So we're still looking. So the paint, that's an approximate, that's not an actual. Retaining wall quote is still out. But ceiling tiles for the rock gym, $8,146. For those, we could take out a budget possibly, but that's gonna always offset something else. But what we're looking for the ceiling tiles at the rock gym, if you've ever seen a volleyball player, they hit that ball pretty high. So every time that we have these type of tiles in the rock gym, it cracks them every time. These ceiling tiles are a little more expensive, but they're made out of a very hard plastic. And so when it hits that, it will just ricochet back down. So they will last a lot longer. And every time we have to go get ceiling tiles, we have to rent a lift that allows us to get up there to change the ceiling tiles. So then we won't have to rent the lift. And the ceiling tiles would be really hard plastic. So that's that for that amount. So, any questions? We have our volleyball teams, our middle school, middle school goes and practices there. I believe the intermediate goes over there. They share all 3 gyms.
I didn't know if there's one.
Oh, BYA.
The school, middle school, who was in there?
Yeah, BYA does use some of our facilities, but what I'm looking for, and this is for another presentation at another time, and as you saw today, we got a little crowded in here with so many people coming to the board meeting. I think that's only going to increase. So what I'm wanting to do with the rock gym in time, and probably within budget, is I'm wanting to turn that into a multi-use facility, that we honor the history and the integrity of the rock gym, because that means a lot to a lot of people in Boyd. And it could be a place where class of 84 comes and has their high school reunion. It can be a place where we can have professional development. We can put a hard plastic tarp down and put chairs and tables out where we can have professional development for teachers. It could be a boardroom meeting place and lots of people can come. So it could be a multi-use facility and also used as a gym. So I'm looking at the floors in the gym are beautiful. There's some things that we probably need to do to renovate a couple of actual boards, but the painting and some of the aesthetics can be done in time. So I just say that we're going to need these tiles so that if we still have volleyball girls in there hitting those balls in the ceiling, we're going to continue to have cracked tiles like these.
So what you're saying is for the whole summer project, you need $160,000.
Where did we post these items for bid? I see that numbers that they posted on this.
JB, do you have idea on where we got the demolition? Okay.
I just didn't know if we posted it in the messenger, internet, on website. Where?
So I don't know why you have to. It is the Bible.
Yes.
I don't know about the.
And the painting.
Yeah, the painting,
wall.
we're accepting quotes right now. So I just gave you an approximate. that the middle school intermediate hasn't been painted in, I don't know.
That's what I'm
a long
asking
time.
for, accepting how
yeah.
we're getting the word out.
All right, they've done that
Advertising.
long, we
how-
just redid it,
Right,
right?
same as demolition.
5 years.
If we
Assuming this is touch up.
Post it for the painting, or we put it in the messenger, or what are we doing?
So the thing is, I will come back to you with actual quotes for the paint. I just put those on there as summer needs. But we need to paint, we need to get the retaining wall, we need a ceiling tiles. Ceiling tiles are an actual. The paint is an approximate. We are still requesting quotes. It's hard to get vendors to get quotes to us for both the paint and the retaining wall. How we're getting that out. We had, we did post that. The person that I need to ask is not with us tonight. So we can, putting things in the newspaper is very expensive. But we can do that. We can, I don't know, take recommendations from you guys on how to get this out because, but the lighting project is an actual from the from the buy board. So the actuals are the 3-year lighting project and the ceiling tiles and the demolition, paint and retaining wall. As you see, our quotes are requested. We just have a document in.
The painting, I'm assuming is touching up, paint, not painting the whole thing, obviously.
Can principals?
There's no way.
There is not even a possible way.
That's why I'm asking why we posted this and who's providing these numbers, because some of these numbers just based off my knowledge in the business don't look
Okay,
doable.
okay.
And so that's why I'm asking.
So, yeah, paint is not an actual. And
Even the
I can bring that
demolition
to you in June.
and the asbestos, that number can grow by 10 times that amount like that.
Depending on what's there.
And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
So that, I'm
So-
assuming this is just a check, a test?
Yes, that's what I
That's just
said.
their
I said, this is their
so that doesn't
assessment.
include anything.
No. So that's the asbestos abatement on demolitions assessment is $5,500. That's just for them to see what's in there. So that's not even the removal of the asbestos.
Yeah, I mean, the paint, I thought maybe you were painting the doors in the hallway or something.
Yeah, demolition services, we've gotten from a vendor, concession stand demolition is $1,925. The house next door, $7,850. The police department, $12,450. The police department parking lot, I don't know why that's on here, it's $4,075, and the Munn house is $16,760.
Where were those from? What was it?
Those for the demolition.
That's how you broke it down.
Mhm. So that's the 43,060.
I mean, how do you feel about as far as right now, summer work? Go back to how important it is.
See, this isn't, this was a board request, so I'm just bringing it to
That's
you.
what I'm saying, I mean, it's kind of going around, I mean, how important is it?
We're talking about sprucing up our campuses, and so that's what we
Mhm.
asked her to put those numbers together, because we're all about improving appearances. It's, if that's important to us, and that number is. I mean,
That's why I'm just trying to figure out which one, if we want to go out. This one now, this one, yeah, I mean, or if it's doing all or.
I imagine your demolition contractors, and again, I don't know where she advertised this, but you're gonna get a better bang for your buck if you let one guy look at all of them at one time versus mobile and mobile.
Yeah. And Mr.
Hands, your machinery, everything's open.
Yeah, Mr. McDonald got these. So, yeah, I'd have to ask him how many he got.
If you look at the LED thing for obviously, I mean,
Yeah, the LED, we're ready to rock and roll. I mean, they're ready to do it. They're ready to start ordering materials. JB and his crew, they've got it all under control, how to get year one in. And of course, we're going to start with either the high school or something like elementary or the high school, so that we determine in year 2 or 3 what's going to go on with the intermediate middle.
I would like to see us move forward with the lighting myself, but I would like for you to go back out and get, post this, however you choose to, and get competitive bids on the other items.
Okay.
And the rock gym, I mean, that's its cost, we see this out, that's important to us, bids, we do it. I would say the other items we need to get competitive bids.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much. As you see in parentheses, I put quote requested as one for an information item, so you know I'm looking at those things.
So we set stuff over here, so if we pull that out, that helps with the motion to approve that portion of the table for waiting more information.
Yeah, that's how I made the motion. I move that we approve blank because I figured this would happen and because I do not have all the quotes in.
So we don't have to have a second.
Yeah, you can just put in whatever you want to put in the blank.
Let me ask you, the painting part of that was the rock gym, I'm understanding?
No,
No.
that's just for the intermediate middle school.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, we're gonna do the ceiling tiles, we didn't wait till after it's painted.
Okay,
They can paint
okay,
it,
I can
not
get a
worry
quote,
about
I can get a
ceiling
quote
tiles.
for that too.
You can throw it on there. Time frame on ceiling tiles, how long would that take to complete, just let us say later, we want to go ahead and get it done? That's pretty
Yeah,
quick.
it's-
I was gonna say, get the lights going first, that's gonna be the most time consuming, right?
JB, do you want?
10 minutes a lot, though.
So it's going to be.
So would you do the lighting or the ceiling tiles first? Rock gym.
I don't think.
Okay,
So, yeah, you're gonna have to get a lift to do the lights, you might as well do
Those-
ceiling
those
tile while
two.
you're doing it. But I don't know if the rock gym's on the,
On the lighting list.
they gave us the list, yeah, they gave us the list of what first year is, I just don't remember what all was on the first year. That's the case. you can get it all right.
Yeah. I move that we approve the 3-year LED lighting project and replacing the ceiling tiles in the rock gym.
Water for electricity.
Okay, got a first by Jeremy. Ken seconded, didn't hear him. A second by Kenneth, all those in favor? Reports, superintendent.
okay, I just want to report out that we had a great 2 days was it last weekend, or the weekend before that? Where we went to Lone Star Governance and it was just really neat to have time with the board and with the administration and learn about student outcome goals and even have our board members present student outcome goals. So it was really, really fun. So that's all I had. I just wanted to thank you all for going on that journey with me, and we're going to continue on. Mr. Chappeton's going to put together a Lone Star Governance scorecard so that we can keep data on this. So it's not going away. We're going to ramp it up and start looking at our student outcome goals. We haven't determined that. So I'll just let you recover from the last 2 days first. So, yeah. Yeah. It's graduation weekend. No. I just got daggers shot at me. I'm kidding.
So day 3 is over.
No. I tell you, days 3 and 4, it's just us and it's pretty cool.
So it's here
We'll be here
with Dale,
with Dale.
with Dale.
With
Is it
Dale.
gonna be with Dale?
It's gonna be with Dale.
Sure it's gonna be with Dale.
I think it's gonna be with Dale. Yeah.
Okay. Any questions for Dr. Lordy? Thank you all.
We'll take it on the road this weekend.
As long as Dale ain't watching.
How
are you?
Echo in here.
I just wanted to give you a report out on some of the new and creative ways that we are recruiting teaching personnel. That person with the most direct influence and inspiration, delivery content, et cetera. Since our last board meeting, we've been a part collectively
also, a little bit before the last board meeting, up till now, been a part of virtual job fairs with TCU, with Charleston State. We've also received resume packets from Abilene Christian, from Hardin Simmons, and from McMurray in Abilene. So one of the things that we've done by way of recruitment is sent personalized emails to 80 people with resumes from those 5 universities, offering interviews in order to connect with new teaching personnel. Some of the creative ways that principals have conducted interviews. Ms. Reeves has had students in on interviews, which is super powerful for the teacher candidates to receive questions from the students that they would be teaching. Ms. Harrison has brought in staff members and has brought in projects with regards to interviews. We've got standardized questions that we use, and then there are some people in our interviews who tend to go off script, depending on how the interview is going. But just wanted to share a little bit about how we are seeking to be proactive in this hiring season to high quality personnel, teacher personnel. Another thing that we've begun doing in some instances is offering tours of campuses, tours of the district, and opportunities to visit the curriculum coordinators to see the types of support documents and support coaching that teachers will receive. So Ms. Harrison has designed a sign that once teachers come and work through HR and sign the contract, they get to hold up an I choose Boyd ISD sign, and we're going to have online graphics by which to announce new features to the community. We also are seeing traction with those types of things that we're doing. We reviewed a candidate on Friday that mentioned a year ago when I looked at the online footprint of what I see was very different than what I see now, and remarked positively about several social media postings and the overall look of the website. Things was reading and her team that were exciting this candidate about the possibilities here at what I've seen. So just wanted to update you on what we're doing in order to obtain high quality teaching personnel.
Thank you. CFO. Hi, Julie.
I don't know if you have used look at the money report in the packet, but I wanted to go over that briefly. We can ask you any questions about it. First of all, we've received all budgets. Trying to build the revenue estimates based on our template. I'm going to jump down on that list. We did get our preliminary tax values from the county. They went from 750 this year to 800,500,000. So we did get a bump in our property value. My very first run at the template using these numbers gives us about a $250,000 increase over this year for revenue. Very preliminary, very first rattle out the box. Backwards, then looking at the deficit for 2021, 150,000 is my very first estimate for what we're going in. It is an estimate. I'm working on the numbers as they come in. I've taken things that I know we will be spending, things that I know we've already encumbered, and looking at what that will be. Hopefully that will be quite the case, but I am going to be looking at that as we go along. I've been giving you a breakdown of the deficit. We started the year off with a slight deficit on a tight budget. Our student attendance is a lot lower than what we thought. We had about $143,000 in COVID expenses. 93,000 of that was in staffing, payroll, and quarantine costs that we had to pay for teachers. We also did a budget of $141,000 to staff our teachers with supplemental pay. Part of what made this year so hard in looking at is we started off the year with TDA saying we're going to give you the first 2 6 weeks. We're using last year's numbers completely as a whole, special costs and student attendance. Then they say, okay, well, now we're going to look at maybe giving you 30. So, okay, we're looking at that again. Straight last year's attendance, last year's student costs, or special population. In the second semester, they come back and they say, okay, now we're looking at maybe going ahead and making the last 3 6 weeks whole harmless. Then they come back and say, okay, we're looking at giving you whole harmless attendance with your current, some of your current special costs. So what happened with us, we had an increase in our CTE kids, we had an increase in our early education numbers, we had an increase in our COMDED numbers by 100 kids. So our special cost numbers were much higher. But our attendance is low. So we were kind of in a hybrid middle. And so now the last thing that they're telling us is we're going to give you the best option that's going to do you the best good. So for us, that's using our current ADA, which is much lower, with our good increase in our special population. So it's been a moving target all year. So I wanted to let you know that, that's where we are. I'm hoping it won't be that bad, but I don't know. Another item, on the update for the vehicle that was stolen, we did get that total. And we're going to take a check, keep the vehicle, allow us to use parts on it for the other truck we have, the same model. Hopefully we can find something else to replace that with, or looking at something that's used that we can just turn around and not spend much on. And lastly, Drew gave you the information I had also given to Dr. Friday, but we did finally receive the PPRP, the money for that we've been waiting on forever. We were supposed to get it at the end of April. That's all I have.
So between COVID expenses, supplemental pay, and student attendance, we were off by $400,000, give or take.
Yeah, so student attendance is 271.
So how did we miss by that much?
Student,
COVID had a lot to do with it.
students staying home, students going to online school, going to homeschool.
So how many students did we lose to homeschool?
I'm gonna get those numbers for you. I don't have them on the top of my head. Phone number, homeschool. I'll get you a homeschool and then just how many we lost at each campus.
Because it looks like we were off by 44 students.
We didn't budget for the
Yeah, so 44 students, we're one of the lucky ones. There's many Wise County districts and districts across the state of Texas that have lost hundreds, or thousands. And so when you look at,
Louisville has thousands.
yeah, but in Wise County, we're one of the last ones. 44 kids doesn't sound like a lot, but 44 times 6,000 is 271. So yeah, that's the low end. Yeah, so
44 sounds like a lot when that's what we budget off of. Sounds like a whole lot to me.
On our weekly email, 40 to 50 every week. Of that 450 we were going for. 1,200.
I thought we said at 1135.
We said it at 12.
I thought it's total 4. 1, total 4. 18. 1,200 so.
Okay, so let me just real quick. We budgeted at 12, but we're at 1150.
we're 44 students down, yes, from what we budgeted. And we had no idea that they were,
Recently, we had a little bit more of an uptick recently. With some other stuff.
well,
At the very end.
yeah, we've had some, I think y'all have had some move-ins and such, but we had no idea how COVID was gonna go. We had no idea people were gonna keep their kids home. Or some districts, they just disappeared altogether. Mom and dad have to work, so they went off to live with grandparents. I mean, there's different scenarios and, we found them all but 6, all right? 6. Yeah, we found them all but 6. And when parents don't withdraw them, when they don't tell us where they're going, we put in into our process, and I think I talked to y'all at Lone Star Governance, where we're not only gonna get the parent's address, we're gonna get a grandparent, an aunt, uncle, we're gonna get like 3 different, phone numbers when they withdraw so that we can more easily find them. Because when they, and in my former position, I was in the same type of scenario. Kids would be gone and you'd call every number and you'd ask everybody and they're like, I don't know where they are. And it's just, I know it sounds weird, but it happens. And so we're 44 down, but we know where they've gone except for those 6.
So what numbers did you use on your preliminary budget for 21, 22?
Spreadsheet that I use, and it's got a 3-year plan on it, and I put in kind of numbers as I have them, and that's the number.
Okay, any other questions? All right, thank you. Athletic Director. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ms. Magrita. I look past.
I was not gonna tell you, I was not gonna say anything, but then we have some great things that I did want to share with you. Continuing on CTE growth and really good ISD growth. I'm very proud of Mr. Rawlings and his welding students. Mr. Rawlings actually partnered with Weatherford College to host the first annual weld-on competition. And that was a really big deal for us to partner with the community college. They had 17. Our Boyd ISD team in 3rd place out of that. I think that overall just growing that welding program. And we were actually at a river district last week with Mr. Duffy and Mr. Moore looking at the different CTE programs. And they actually asked if they come out to Boyd ISD and check out our welding facilities and help with it. So I think that's just really cool. We're showing all these things we're doing at ISD, and huge props to Mr. Rawlings. He works very hard. District Technology, these amazing people, along with Mr. Smith and Mr. Landis, are picking up our technology devices this week and next week. So how many did you get today? 114. I'm told the 8th graders had 0 broken screens. So I'm proud of them. Kayla's really tired, but they're working hard to get all of our technology picked back up. Virtual students will be next Wednesday. They'll actually bring their equipment to the admin building. And then we'll be putting a lot of effort to get anything that was not turned in and collected and ready to go back out next year. So thank you to them. As well as we have been working with our college readiness students, students who got for dual credit. They have been filling out their Apply Texas applications and we're preparing to register early next year. So great things happening.
Thank you. Athletic Director.
Up here earlier, talking about the state tax, not on the lower. Baseball team won the first district championship in 1993, and they won their first playoff series victory since 2003 with the Dodgers to win over Dallas Madison. Then they went on this past weekend, Thursday, Friday, and won the area round matchup with Hattonville Fairland, 5-3 and 6-4. And I'm sure y'all was there. It was a very exciting time. Woohoo! Matchup with Grandview on Thursday, Friday, both of those times at 6 o'clock, and Saturday at 1. Coach online and back.
That's where we played first round.
Go on spot plus short drive for us.
Yes.
Also, some extra info on May 3rd, we had a doctor come up, field house, and offered any student 7th through 12th grade entering the 7th through 12th grade a chance to get a fiscal for $20. Pretty good deal. We had 68 kids to take advantage of that opportunity. And then, summer strength conditioning, we're gonna start what we call a 100% club, that will start on June 7th. And that's for all incoming 7th through 12th grade students, and that's our lifting, our run. And then that's sport specific, UIL, giving us more weekly work with the kids and some. Regularly, sport specific. Each sport, or you get 90 minutes a week, a day, 60 per person. So that's last year.
Boys and girls.
Thank you.
Thanks. High school and middle school principals.
We are going to talk a little bit about our Boyd ISD partnership with middle school. And specifically, we're going to talk about learning loss and credit recovery. So in your communication earlier of those students that went homeschool and things like that, the students that we served this year that weren't successful, the students that we anticipate coming back to us after maybe not being successful in their platform, things like that, we are preparing for them. So we will be discussing Summer Summit tonight and a little bit about what that entails. Okay, so to start, we're going to be looking at student selection criteria. Specifically, we are providing this opportunity to all students currently enrolled in 7th through 12th grade, incoming 12th graders, so current juniors. We are identifying our at-risk population. So those students at the high school level or those students that have been unsuccessful in one or more core content course. And so we will be working with those students to identify first who they are in a triage fashion. So working with juniors on the way down for our credit recovery students. And then Mr. Bourgeois is going to talk a little bit about his student selection as well as stakeholder buy-in.
Same as the high school, we're looking at our at-risk students through content grades, and we'll talk about that in a second. For anyone who is unsuccessful in more than one of the content subjects. But the stakeholder buy-in is very important. And at a time like this, we're meeting with parents and families now of those who have been unsuccessful. But it's very important for them to know the reason, the why that we're doing this. It's not a penalization. It's nothing to hurt the kids or to hold them back. It is to address the needs from the learning loss. So having conversations with students to understand why we are addressing them and asking them to join us, getting parents, grandparents, everyone else involved to let them understand why this is so important moving forward for next year and beyond. The data that we're reviewing, the next column that we're looking at is the MAP data. We brought in MAP testing this year. So from our beginning of the year, middle of the year, and end of the year assessments, we were able to track our students based on the standard norm and see how they're growing throughout the year. Math and reading alike. We can see where their strengths are, where their gaps are. And they may go 2 years back, they could be years advanced. But using that MAP data, we can help target our students and see where they're at. Along with that, we talked about core content grades, especially at the middle school, using those report card grades, using their assessments from their classrooms, math, science, social studies, English, and targeting those students to help make sure that they're better prepared for next year, whether that be 8th grade or crossing the street to the high school, as well as course credit at the high school that Ms. Reed will talk to you about.
So our data that we're reviewing are our students' transcripts. You all know that at the high school level, you have to earn so many credits in order to graduate. So we'll be identifying from the junior level down who has not received full course content, core content credits. And then going back to stakeholder buy-in, I think the most important thing that we have to be understanding of is these are students that were not successful in the traditional classroom experience, if we can call a COVID year a traditional classroom experience, right? But these are the students and the family members that we're going to have to communicate, this is what we're providing to you, and this is the how in a non-traditional setting, and provide even stronger parameters of support for those students to be successful. And then finally, we're going to talk a little bit about instruction and what we're providing. We're going to be utilizing Edgenuity. Edgenuity is a platform that we currently use and have used for many years. It's our, what used to be referred to as the Learning Center, what is now branded as the Jacket Academy. It is that program and platform. It's an accredited system. This is for credit recovery. So these are for students that have seen this curriculum, lived this curriculum,
but were unsuccessful. So they'll be immersed in it one more time. And with Edgenuity, we will utilize MyPath. MyPath is for reading and math specifically. It partners with Edgenuity. It pulls math data so we can have that student and we know exactly what they're lacking in. And if they're enrolling in a math models course or English 3 because they weren't successful, then that MyPath is going to support them in that. Also, we'll have Khan Academy, which is just an online format for them to use. So if they're studying with math models, but our teacher facilitator in the room is an English certified teacher, they can still utilize that Khan Academy and get that support, as well as we will have a teacher facilitator each day. So that way those students have structure and support and encouragement and can be ultimately successful.
And as far as our calendaring goes, we're planning on starting June 7th through July 1st, running those weeks of June, having 4 teacher rotations each day, Monday through Thursday, 8 to 12, to where it's keeping the teachers fresh, working with students and also students on that same path where we're not going so long throughout the day that we're training them and we're keeping them sharp on their skills. Starting June 7th gives us a little more time to look at some of that data to make sure we have the proper students in there, the proper plan, and also give them a week off before coming right back into the swing of things. So that is.
We have 27 licenses available. So that is the max capacity that we can provide for.
How many students do we need to do this?
1. I mean, we can support any and all.
How many did we have that did not get the full credit? How many of them
Right.
did
So
not grasp what needed and they need to go with this?
right. And so while I don't have that data in front of me, it goes back into that stakeholder buy-in. We're going to offer this to students and families, and we're going to have those students and families that say, no, thank you. So we have a plan in place at the high school, and I know at the middle school, I'll speak for you, that these students are going to have to double up on core content. So they may have to take 2 Englishes, or they may have to take 2 maths. So that student that wasn't successful in a traditional environment is now taking additional course load courses. So we're trying to provide them that opportunity that they can come in over the summer and have a summer school experience and have that opportunity for them.
Right, I get that. I just want to know how many students is this?
We-
Is
we
it
don't
30
know.
students? Is it
We
100?
we don't
Wait.
know yet because we're still getting course credits. We're still, they're going to offer the opportunity. They're showing you what they're going to offer.
And what I will share with you is we've done course selection at the high school and at the middle school. And we have those students that we've identified will have to take another English or another math or another science. That's already built into their schedule. So we don't have any students that are floating off into scary numbers. We have students that just need this additional support, and we hope that they take it.
And when we have those numbers, we'll present those out to you in a Friday update so that you can see how many we're servicing in this summer.
I think how many offer to it versus also how many have taken on the challenge because,
We'll provide those to
yes,
you.
sir.
I'll provide those to you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Intermediate elementary.
I still feel weird going last. So I'm not sure about it. All right. So like the high school and middle school, both the elementary and intermediate are going to partner together to offer Camp Yellow Jacket. And this is to help prevent some learning loss that we know that naturally happens over the summer. And it's just, we're going to try to be proactive versus reactive. Maybe. All right, so our selection criteria. So this is going to be for incoming 1st through 6th grade students who have been identified as scoring low to low average and are performing below grade level.
The data reviewed for Camp Yellow Jacket will be the end of year MAP scores using MAP data reports. Students that scored in low to low average range and their overall year performance will be considered.
And as far as what are we going to be doing with these kiddos? So we hope to use MyPath, like Ms. Reeves already mentioned. This is a learning platform that is data driven and it's personalized to pinpoint where students are, where their gaps might be, and it adapts lessons to where we need them to be. So that'll be kind of it's the technology piece of this where they can just set free and work through this without necessarily having a teacher directly in front of them. We will still have a teacher, but with all of our gaps that we've been closing in phonics this year, we really want to continue with using Heggerty as well as Saxon, just to help mitigate some of those, any learning losses, but also just tying up any loose ends that we maybe did not meet during the school year. So still working towards that. Ultimately, we're asking these little kids to come in over the summer during their break. So we want them to have fun. And so in doing that, we are already using a program called Learning A to Z. There is a feature that we have not been maximizing to its best potential. And they have a great inquiry-based piece of their program that they offer where it's hands-on, where kids get to actually use problem-solving skills and critical thinking skills. And so that'll be something that'll kind of be fun for them. And it's all already designed. So whoever facilitates those lessons, they come in and it's already prepared and the kids just have fun with it. And they don't realize that they're getting all of these great skills like reading and math through it, but it's happening.
Our time frame looks just like the high school and middle school. We will begin on June the 7th and it lasts through July the 1st, and our time is from 8 to noon. Any questions?
Again, buses run,
Yes, buses and.
breakfast and
breakfast.
lunch.
And we have gotten with, student nutrition and they are preparing for that. Yes. So what I'm excited about is it's 4 days for 4 weeks, but it's impacting, students and just, addressing that learning loss that we've encountered due to COVID and allowing our students to get a leg up that we haven't had before. So I'm very proud of our principals for coming up with these. Thanks for.
Thank you. Okay, agenda item number 13, closed session, pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.071. 551.074. Oh, it is 8:25. It's 9:20. Actions resulting from closed session.
Our resignations and retirees. Ms. Dawn Kate is retiring from the Boyd High School. Ms. Jennifer Freeman, Morgan Perez Meza, Chelsea Taylor, Melody Lane, Brittany West, Justin Oje, Andrew Welliver, and Callie Dominguez are all resigning. We are hiring Megan Betancourt Rubel as our Spanish teacher at the middle school, Kara Anderson McCurdy for FCS, Brad Warren for custodian, Bailey Wilhite for sixth science teacher, Bailey Shaleto Bond for fifth grade ELA, Gina Turner for music para, Taylor Hilton for pre-K para, Kendall Scroggins for STEAM para, and Jesse Allen as English high school.
Make a motion to approve the superintendent's resignations and others.
Trey, got you.
Okay.
First by Kyle, second by Trey, all in favor. So move adjournment.
Go ahead, Marty.
Second.
Have a second by Krista, all those in favor. Well, thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.